What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I'm here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Turn this head around. It is uh two Tuesday, sorry, Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter. I'm also a casino host. I'm based here out of Minnesota, and I have a special guest that's coming on with me today. Her name is Ruby Quintero. She is a freelance technical director, video production assistant, and camera operator that's based out of Eugene, Oregon right now. So we're going to talk to her about her why into sports, talk about maybe some inspirations or some idols that she had growing up. We're going to talk about what she does on a day-to-day basis, being a freelancer, because when you freelance, you pretty much work from job to job and not on a daily basis, but whenever there is a job needed, that's when you work. We're going to talk about her days at University of Oregon as well, and just get to know her a little bit. So without any further ado, I bring to you the wonderful, the talented, the beautiful Ruby Quintero. Hey Ruby, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. It's wonderful to see your face. Just want to say good afternoon and thank you for coming on to my podcast. I really do appreciate it.
I know it's about time that I made time.
Absolutely.
I
you know,
work a
you,
lot,
you,
so I'm glad to
we're,
be doing this.
we're absolutely busy. When you're in sports, we totally understand. We got to always kind of make shift with our schedules. So I
Yeah,
totally understand that. How's your week been going so far?
good, very relaxing. I have
Okay.
today off, so I'm just hanging out. It's been really nice. Sipping some coffee, doing great.
I love it. I love it. Let me be transparent with you. I've never had a cup of coffee a day in my life. Yeah,
Oh,
never, never.
bravo to you.
Right.
I love coffee. I love the taste of coffee. I like the placebo effect that I think it helps me stay awake, but
Mm,
it probably doesn't at all. Um, but
mm.
I envy the people that can go without it because I can't.
My whole family drinks it. I'm more of a water and juice person. Like I gotta have my apple juice. There you go.
Always have water on hand. I drink lots of water because of the coffee, especially um,
Sure, sure.
because it's dehydrating. But yeah, I'm not much of a juice person.
I feel that. So listen, I'll take care of the juice. You take care of the coffee, and we'll be good. I love that. I
Okay.
totally do. Now,
Sounds
before
good.
I start peppering you with a bunch of questions, let me reiterate why I wanted to have you on here. So obviously you're a technical director, you're a video production assistant, you're a camera operator, freelancer of all these things, I believe, and you work in sports. I work in sports, so it's likewise. I'm a sports reporter. I cover teams. I write stories. You work with basically events and teams and doing different things of that nature. And I believe you work for the University of Oregon as well in their athletic department.
I
So
do.
for me, it was likewise to talk to somebody who actually works in sports, loves sports as much as I do, and just get to know you outside of your occupation, which is why I wanted to reach out and talk to you. So to me, it was
Yeah.
an open.
Awesome. Well, yeah, feel free to ask questions. I mean, you have all that correct. It's funny because I feel kind of like an imposter when it comes to my
Hmm,
work. I'm like, yeah, I do all these cool things, but also I just feel like a regular human being.
sure, right,
You know?
right, absolutely. I totally understand that. And to segue off of that, I want to know your why. That's my first question to every guest that I have on here. What is your why of doing what you do? Why do you work in sports? Were there some role models growing up that you wanted to be like? There's somebody you want to idolize? Like, what is your why?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was in sixth grade. We had a broadcast class. And I grew up in a really small town, like 2,000 people.
Wow.
Um, so super small town. I don't even know how we had the ability to have a broadcast class. But I remember my teacher, like we'd do the morning announcements and we'd do like the weather and we'd be in front of the camera reading a teleprompter and everything. It was super cool.
Sure.
Um, I loved that class. I was like, this is so cool. I love doing this. And so as I grew older, I was like, oh wait, you can do that as a job. And I've always been good at writing, journalism, all that sort of stuff. Terrible at math and science. So naturally, as I got older and learned like what you could do as a career, I ended up pursuing broadcast journalism in college.
Okay.
I did
Okay.
print journalism in high school, did the whole newspaper sort of route. But as soon as I got into college, I did broadcast, and
Okay.
I wanted to be an anchor or a reporter, someone who was in front of the camera. I quickly learned, well, I don't know if quickly is the right word. My junior year of college, I was like, actually, I don't want to be in front of the camera. That seems like a lot. That seems like I kind of wanted more of like a private life. I didn't want everyone to know me if if I went to the grocery store or something.
Sure.
I
Sure.
wanted to still do broadcasts, but have a private life. So, my junior year, we went to New York for a journalism class, and
Okay.
I kind of we were shown so many different avenues of journalism, and one of that being like the behind the scenes producing, directing, technical directing, um, sort of work, I suppose. And I was like, oh, so I don't have to change my career. I don't have to, third year in, be like, oh, I want to do something different. It's
Sure.
still within the same avenue. So I decided with the University of Oregon, they had an internship with the athletic department where you could learn all the behind the scenes sort of work. So camera operation, technical directing, replay. And we do this for board shows. So the board shows are the in-house shows you just see on the Jumbotron.
Yes.
Did that for all sports. Any sport that we have at the university, we covered. So basketball, volleyball, softball, football, all the things. We would work the video board for board shows and learn how to do replay, technical direct, camera operation, shading, um, yeah, pretty much everything. And so I learned how to do that. I think I started that my senior year,
Okay.
beginning of my senior year. And I've been doing that ever since. So it ended up, from going from an internship into a job, and I learned all the things, and decided I wanted to do technical directing. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of work, um, very technical as it as it sounds. Um, you know, what technical directing is pushing buttons, but it's a sort of live editing in sports.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of like brain power behind that. You have to, it's almost like coding is how I would describe it, because you have to tell the computer exactly what you want it to do, and
Sure.
that's hard because I'm not technical. I don't know. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
I totally
um,
understand that.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of brain power and work, and thinking on my part at least, because I'm not a technical person. I've learned from some really great people who that's just how their mind works. Mine doesn't. But the reason I got specifically into the sports route, not only because the university had the internship, but
Mhm.
growing up, I played sports my whole life.
Sure. Yep. Me too.
My parents, huge, huge, huge NFL fans. Like to the point where on Sundays you better not walk in front of the TV. And they're screaming and yelling at the TV.
Wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
I was very much around sports, and I loved watching them. I thought it was super cool. Um, as I said, once I learned about journalism being a career, I was like, you could cover sports, like you could do that as a job.
Yep. Make a
So
living. Yep.
yeah, kind of mixing the two was like, heck yeah, this is what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's my why, long-winded why.
That's okay. That's certainly okay. You certainly have the face to be in front of the camera, by the way. I would say that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Now,
as silly as it sounds, I didn't want to get up and do my makeup every day. I said, no,
and
that's not it.
I totally understand. I have that same problem. I don't want to get up and do my makeup either. So totally understand that.
Yeah.
You mentioned University of Oregon, so you are an alumni duck. Now I grew up in San Diego, California, so we were on opposite ends there, Ruby.
Yeah.
Because I was a Pac-12 guy, but I was a Trojan, right? So I was a USC Trojan. So for sure, that's my football team. I still root for it to this day. Talk to me about, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to University of Oregon?
That could have persuaded me against going?
Yes.
No, not a chance. Because, and I say that because when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, that's when you're applying for all the scholarships, you're, trying to do all of that. I would stay up late and apply for every scholarship you could think of. My dad would come in my room late at night and be like, "Why are you still up?" He'd get mad at me, and I'm like, "Cause what other time do I have to do this?" I said I played sports, so school, sports, you get home and eat and shower, and then it's technically time for bed. Well, I still had homework and scholarships to apply for, so I'd stay up late.
Sure.
And in applying for scholarships, I ended up getting a full ride to U of O because I got a scholarship, an international scholarship. It's the Bill Gates scholarship.
I think I know what you're talking about. That's on FastWeb, right? Did you apply on FastWeb?
No, actually.
No? Okay.
I had to seek this one out myself. Only a handful of people get it. And you have to write a million essays. Oh my gosh, a million. But as I said, I'm great at writing. So
Sure.
I did, obviously got the scholarship. So it paid for a full ride to really any college I wanted to go to. That being said, I had known since I was a kid, I'm going to Oregon. I don't care what I study, I'm going to Oregon. We were Ducks fans since I can remember. It just so happened that Oregon was a good journalism school. And I was like, great. I don't have to look for any other schools. I wanted to stay close to family. My family's from the Oregon coast. And so going to school in Eugene, I'd only be 2 hours away from them. So if I still wanted to visit, I could. But no one else could convince me to go elsewhere. Oregon was the only school that I applied to. I didn't apply to any other school.
I love that. I love that.
So,
one and only Oregon Ducks. I love that. That's what's up.
Everyone applies to 50, hundreds of schools. No, one. I applied to one, and I was like, "This is where I'm going." So
yes, you had it in your heart. You knew that's where you wanted to go, and you went there, and they accepted you. And it's a beautiful thing. I love that. On here with Ruby Quintero on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I'm going to ask you some favorite things, Ruby. I just want you to give me the 411 off the rip and let me know what some of those favorite things are. Are you with me?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, I love to cook.
Oh, we're going to be great friends then, Ruby. I love to eat. That's for sure.
I love to cook. Although I'd say probably my favorite food is wings. I love some bone-in wings. That's my favorite food.
Okay, I know we're gonna be good friends now. Okay, chicken wings, anything chicken, I'm with it. I love that. Okay, favorite concert you've ever traveled to, or a favorite concert you ever attended? Sorry about that.
I don't go to a lot of concerts. I would say my favorite artist, and I've been to his concert like 3 or 4 times, is Russ. I like more of his melodic lo-fi music.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just calming. I like feel good music. So I've gone to his concert 4 times.
He is quite the artist, no question about it. He's different. When I think of Russ, I think of artists like Logic, which is another one kind of similar to him. which are both dope artists. I have him in my Spotify for sure. Yeah, he's pretty dope. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Um, Spain.
Wow.
I,
Okay.
I went when I was 15. We went on a school trip and we went to Spain, France, and Italy. And everyone thinks Italy's better. Yeah, I like Spain better. It was so beautiful to be in a different country, experience new things. It is gorgeous there. So
Okay.
definitely Spain.
I like that. Now, how long did you stay in Spain?
So our trip was 2 weeks long. I was probably there like 5 days, maybe.
Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? It could be the same sport.
Oh, that's tough. Watch on TV. Um, I love watching football on TV.
Okay, I'm with it.
Attending baseball, probably. I want to say basketball, but um, it's funny, I didn't know anything about basketball until I got this job. My parents never watched basketball, so I never knew anything about it, never played it.
Wow.
Yeah, and also I told myself growing up I could never play basketball because if somebody bumped me, I'd be mad. Um, so I just recently, like, since college, the last like 8 years have learned more about basketball and really enjoy it. I love going to the games, but there's just something about going to a baseball game and just sitting in the stands. Baseball is horribly boring on TV. But
Yes.
love going to the games. So
I would say very boring until the playoffs. Baseball playoffs can be pretty exciting. Pretty exciting then. I mean, you're in Oregon, so I would think the Portland Trailblazers, for as far as a professional team goes, would definitely be something to watch.
yeah, been
Now
to a couple
football.
games.
Now, football wise, the Ducks, obviously, they just had Bo Nix as their quarterback. He now leaves. The Ducks are going to retool. And now with the Pac 12 dissolved, pretty much, and broken up into now, the Big Ten and stuff like that, it's going to be interesting to see how those Oregon Ducks fare against their competition now, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the Big Ten, we're gonna have some tough competition. I love my Ducks, but because I love my Ducks, I also talk a lot of crap about them because we need to be better. And I just know with this competition, oh gosh.
I totally understand. I
Oh
get
no.
it. I totally get it.
We
I'll
were
be
good in the
watching.
Pac-12. But I don't know how. I think it'll take us some a good amount of time to get good in the Big Ten. So
Without question. All those teams is coming over, USC, UCLA, Oregon, they're going to take a while for sure.
oh yeah.
To adjust to that, not just the travel, but just the physicality of what the Big Ten is all about.
Yeah, we don't know football like that. Like the West Coast, the West Coast, like, yeah, obviously we have sports where we can be good at sports, but there's nothing like, the South it's a different sports dynamic.
Yes,
Um,
it is. No question.
and yeah, Midwest, South, anywhere but the West Coast has such a huge sports community, and it's just different. It's really different. So I think, um, because of that, the West Coast teams we love sports, but it's different. I don't know.
I love
It'll
it.
be interesting to see how we adjust. So.
Very, very interesting. I would love to get to your favorite restaurant. Last of the favorites, favorite restaurant there that you like to eat at.
Oh man. I actually don't eat out a lot.
Okay.
Um, I mostly cook at home because I can make better food than these restaurants. So
Okay.
I don't really go out that much. And when I do, I try to go to like local places instead of, the chains. So I don't really have one.
No, I totally understand that. Now, if I ever come down there to Eugene, which I've never been to Oregon before, and I love visiting all the states, if I ever come down there, I'm gonna have to hit you up for some of that good food.
Okay.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay. Next question I have for you is about your day to day. Talk a little bit about it. You know, when you freelance, it's per job, right? So it's not really about every day I'm working. It's every job that I get a chance to work. So
Yeah.
talk to me about what is your preparation on a job day of whatever you're doing on that particular job, and what is your process like?
Yeah, so with freelance, there's a lot of people that I work with that freelance that only freelance. So, getting a job here and there is what they're used to, what they do. I like to stay busy. And so I have, just a regular job on the side, cooking. And I just do that for most of my week, so I have something to do. But on the weekends, I primarily work with the university, and as I said, we'll cover any of the sports that's happening with the university. We have, well, we did with Pac-12 have school produced shows. So Pac-12 would, I guess you could say, sponsor that show, and we would do the live broadcasting for them. So I would work broadcasts for Pac-12 in our university control room, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
So that those are scheduled broadcasts, so we know when they're coming. But as far as the day to day for the weekends, it's so different every weekend. Just as freelance jobs are. Um, it can be a lot depending on the season. Like spring season is insane. Baseball, softball. Um, we have
All kind of sports.
lacrosse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to stream, either stream, do a board show, or do a broadcast for every single sport every
Wow.
week. And we're one control room, so it's a lot. We're
Sounds
very
like it.
busy. We have a lot of people doing a million different things in the same control room, different shows. Thank God for comms systems, because that's how we keep it all going. My
Sure.
boss is really great at what he does and keeping everything going as well. But it's, I don't know, working in sports, it's such a fun job. I mean, when I come into the control room, depending on what I'm doing, most of the time I'm technical directing.
Right.
I'll come in and I'll sit at the switcher board, and I'll load. It's kind of like loading a new file. You load a new file for the sport that you want on the switcher. Um, and I create macros, which are shortcuts. So instead
Okay.
of pressing 10 buttons at one time, I give this button the job of pressing all of those buttons at the same time.
Oh,
So I just press that one button. So you're saving a bunch of different buttons, macros, all that sort of thing. Routing cameras to go to their right button as well. Same thing on the multi-viewer, making sure everything looks correct. Helping cameras with any troubleshooting that they're having. And that's all over comms, because the control room is separate from any of the venues. We're located in Matthew Knight Arena, so that's where there's volleyball or basketball happening. But if it's football, that's a whole stadium across the river. Uh,
right.
and so we're off site, and so we're trying to, there's an engineer who will be on site at Autzen helping the cameras, but the cameras don't see what I see in the multi-viewer always. They don't know, if the fiber connection from our studio to Autzen isn't working, we have to figure out how to make it, how to fix things. There's a lot of technical part of things, which thankfully I don't have to deal with too much. Um,
Right.
I've learned a little bit, but I try, I have a technical director who's much more advanced than me. He's amazing at what he does. Um, and I look to him for advice all the time. He learned not only the technical side of things, but ended up becoming an engineer. And
Hmm.
they're different jobs, and I very much like to stay in my own lane because I engineering is beyond me. So
I like that. I like that.
you have to kind of be you kind of have to know a little bit of everything, coming in on the day to day, because especially being a technical director, I think that um, it's helpful to know um, how to run camera, how to run replay, because a lot of the times people are like, this isn't working, or something's going on, and because I've done those jobs before, I'm kind of, I guess you could say, in their mind, to where I can explain things better. If someone is in the wrong filter on a camera, I can visually in my mind see, oh, this button is on the left side, you know, flip that, what have you. If I never ran camera, I would never be able to help my camera people fix their camera.
That's absolutely true.
Um,
No question about that.
yeah,
I,
so go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry. I was gonna follow up by asking you if somebody wanted to come to you and say, "Listen, Ruby, I want to do what you're doing," right? And this is a two-part question. What advice would you give them uh, to tell them about what you're doing as far as your job goes? And also, if you could talk about the pros and the cons of freelance work, because I'm in freelance right now too as well. I'm a freelance sports reporter. So talk about the pros and cons of what you do freelance and advice you would give someone that wants to do the job that you're doing.
I have had people come to me and ask me, like, show me around. How can I what's the word? Shadow you. I
Shadow.
want to
Yep.
learn more. And so I've brought people in to the studio before and just have them watch what we do, see if they like it. Have them watch a broadcast or a board show. Get them acquainted with the camera. Everyone likes doing different things. When I came in, I didn't think I wanted to be a technical director at all. That seemed like it's a lot of pressure, because you're the only person that can screw up.
Mm.
Everybody else might screw something up, but I'm the one pressing the buttons, and that's what goes live.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure. So yeah, I bring people in, kind of have them see what they like, if they like it at all. And then if they decide that's what they want to do, they can either join the internship or apply for the job. Um, Everyone that we work with is so great. I'm very appreciative for how they've helped me grow.
Okay.
Without this opportunity of working for the university as a student, I would never be where I am today. So I'm very thankful in that regard. The pros of freelancing, pros and cons. Well, I could say the con is, it's not consistent. Um, it very much can be, but with freelancing, whether you're freelancing with the university working a Pac-12 show, I've freelanced for Oregon State University doing shows for them. I've
Okay.
Rip City Remix shows. I haven't yet done a Blazer show, but I've shadowed their crew and um, the Timbers and Thorns as well. So freelancing, you can kind of do whatever you want. That's a nice pro, but the fallback is you kind of have to work harder at getting shows and getting known.
Sure. Yes.
Um, in journalism school, they tell you it's not about your experience, it's about your connections. Networking is huge in the especially this industry, but probably most industries. It's about who you know. So
Sure.
I've reached out to colleagues who I know. I'm always introducing myself to new people, um, because that's how you get jobs. If I know somebody, I reached out to a guy that I met, um, and he worked for the Timbers at the time, he ended up
Ah,
getting a job with the remix, the Rip City remix. And I was like, hey, you know,
yeah.
reached out, got that job. So, and yeah, and I worked the NCAA track and field championships this past weekend. One of my
Yeah, I saw that. Saw that
guys,
on your LinkedIn. That was pretty cool.
yeah, one of my camera guys actually, one of those days said, hey, I got an email from this guy. He's searching for people who want to work this fall for, these shows, people that come into Oregon a lot of the time, especially for football, CBS, ABC, NBC, all the ESPN, all the people come in and you can freelance on their shows.
Okay.
Sometimes they bring their own people, directors and stuff, but they like to hire at the local level, so they're not always traveling people everywhere. Um, and so it's really a great opportunity for the people who live and work in that community and who also have the knowledge of the teams to be able to do freelance work. Anyhow, he had just told me this weekend that hey, that he's looking for people to work this fall, and that was him just telling me there at the table, hey, reach out to this guy. He just sent me an email about working. So just in that instance, you can get work. Um, so it's really about reaching out to your sources and saying, hey, do you know anything about this? Or I know that you work for I have friends who work in, they do golf shows and stuff like that. They travel, um, gosh, everywhere. One of the people that came from my job, he's now doing, gosh, he's doing NFL, NBA. He's doing all the things.
That's pretty
Um,
neat. Okay.
so you can really make a name for yourself if you work at it and reach out to your connections for sure. Um, it it's both a pro and a con because you have to do it yourself. It's not something that just like comes to you most of the time. Um, so yeah,
Absolutely. I'm with that. No, I'm with that. On with Ruby Quintero of the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I want to ask some this or that questions, Ruby.
okay,
Okay. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw two things at you, and you get to choose one or the other. Okay. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right. Here we go. Popeyes or KFC?
Oh, I'm gonna disappoint you. I'm gluten free. Um,
That's okay. That's all
so
right.
I the things I've had from there is like KFC, like probably their mashed potatoes and Popeyes. I think I've gone to one. They had like coleslaw and beans. I
Their
can't
rice
have
is
a lot
pretty
of
good.
foods. It's so lame. It's so lame. Um,
So,
so
so are you a vegetarian? You eat no meat?
no, I love meat. I can't have bread like the breading gluten. So
Oh, okay.
fried
I got you.
chicken can't have.
I got you. Okay.
So sad.
Okay. So here we go. Which I would say this. Which player would you rather roll with? Okay. Would you rather roll with Bo Nix, okay, or the or Scoot Henderson? Bo Nix or Scoot Henderson?
Oh my. Oh, that's tough.
I know it.
Um,
I know it.
let's say Bo Nix. I think just
Okay.
because we have this common ground of Oregon and he's played for God, it seems like a million years in
Okay.
college. I'm like, how do you hang on that long? I know the COVID year just helped everybody out, but I'm like, some of
Sure
these
did.
players, I'm like, are you ever gonna leave college? Um, and
Well, we'll see
everybody,
how
I
he
think,
does in Denver now.
yeah, I know. We'll see.
We
Yeah.
will see. We will see. Okay. I like that. Bo Nix.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, for
start.
no great reason, I suppose, but
Okay. So badminton or bowling? Which sport would you rather play?
bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
You know, Yes and no.
Hmm.
I just get lucky, I think is what it is. There's no strategy. I have no idea what I'm doing. But somehow I do well every time.
Okay, okay. We might have to put that. We might have to put that to the test. Just might have to. Okay, throwing that out there. Here we go. These next four questions have to do with music. Which concert would you rather go to, or which artist would you rather listen to? Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Would you rather listen to Florida Georgia Line or Luke Combs?
Oh no, Luke Combs. I don't even like country. Like,
Okay.
ugh.
Oh,
But Luke
okay.
Combs probably.
Here we go. Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oh, that's terrible. My boyfriend and I have had this debate on who's better, and we've come to the conclusion that Kendrick is a lyricist. He's great at what he does.
Mhm.
Drake is Drake is good, but they're just in different, they're not even in the same category. Drake is
I
more
feel
of
it.
like the radio hits, but Kendrick is a lyricist. Uh,
Okay.
and I will say with music, I'm more about it being like um, not just about the radio hits, and not just about
Okay.
being good just because you're good, but being good because you have a passion for it. You work really
Okay.
hard. The lyricism is there, like very passionate about music that's like that. So I would probably say Kendrick, just because of that.
All right. That sounds good to me. Last one of the music. Which artist would you rather go see? Would you rather go see J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
Oh, um, J. Cole. I love them both. I really do. I love both their music, but um yeah, J. Cole, I also love his lyricism. He has deeper subliminal messages than I would say Lil Wayne does. So J. Cole for sure.
Okay. Okay.
He's
I
got the
like that.
hometown feel to me, J. Cole does. Um, yeah.
Okay. I like that. Now, are you a person that eats desserts or you stay away from that?
Oh, I love sugar. I love sugar. It's it's so bad.
Okay. I do too. I do too now. I'm going to throw out four desserts. You're going to have to eliminate one that you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Here we go. Cookies is one.
Okay.
Cakes is two. Ice cream is three. Cakes is four.
What was the second one?
Well, I'm sorry. The first one was cookies. The second one was candy. Candy.
Cookies, candy, cake,
Ice cream and
ice
cakes.
cream. I love ice cream. I love candy. Um, cookies. Cookies are easier than cake. Like cake is just a lot more work, and sometimes the frosting's gross. And also I have to have gluten-free of cookies and cakes, but regardless of that, yeah, just the frosting isn't always good on cakes, and sometimes they
Okay.
just they just slather it on. Ugh, it's too heavy.
I'm,
Cookies is
I'm
easy. I can hold it in my hand. Um,
Now, what's your favorite cookie?
my favorite chocolate chip, just plain old
Yep.
chocolate chip.
Me
I
too.
don't
Me
I don't
too,
need
Ruby.
anything fancy. I just want a good chocolate chip cookie.
All
So I
right.
I could go without cake.
Okay. That's what's up. I like that. I would have chose that one as well. Do you eat potato chips?
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay. So same format. I'm gonna throw out four companies. You got to get rid of one of them. Okay. So
Okay.
here we go. Pringles is the first one.
Okay.
Ruffles. Okay. Lay's. Doritos. Which one are we getting rid of?
It's funny because as soon as you said companies of potato chips, in my head I was like, I already know which one I would throw out before you even name them. Lay's. I do not like Lay's chips. Um, I love. I'm a big lover of crunch. I just like Ruffles.
Yeah.
That's my stuff. I love the crunchy, crispy. all of that. Lay's is just like oily and it's thin and there's no texture. Um, eh,
Now, I totally understand that.
not a Lay's
Greatest
fan at
chip
all.
ever made was sour cream and cheddar, Ruffles.
I do love that one. I don't have a favorite flavor, I think. I love all their flavors, but sour cream and cheddar, or yeah, sour cream and cheddar. The sour cream and onions really good.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, no, those are
Um,
really good ones. But I'm a
uh,
Ruffles fan, for sure.
okay, I can rock with you now. That's what's up. Okay, what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Just in general, or within my
Yeah,
field.
it could be in general or as far as working in sports.
Oh, that's tough. Well, just off the top of my head, there's lots of advice that I hold dearly. This one was one that I think really represents me as a person, and was from my dad growing up. He always said, "God helps those who help themselves."
Mm,
And I I guess when I was young, I didn't really understand what that meant. Um, and as I've gotten older, to me, that just reminds me to work hard at everything that I do. If I'm
okay,
not, you don't just get things given to you. I mean, sure, you might get lucky and you might get an amazing job or make tons of money, or you might have the perfect life handed to you. But like the reality is that most people have to work really hard for what they have, um, and the career that they have as well. So I think about that all the time, that I'm not going to just get lucky. I have to work hard for it. You
right,
can't win the lottery if you're not playing.
right,
So it's kind of that concept that in everything that I do, I have to work really hard, and good things will come of that. So I would say that's one of them. There's a million more, but that's one that really reminds me to work hard, and not just hope for things to fall into my lap.
I feel that. On here again with Ruby Quintero, my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I want to ask you this: what is your favorite sport to like work in?
Hmm. Um, Gosh, that really depends on the dynamic. I think, working specifically in Autzen Stadium, that's really awesome. Like being, especially under the lights, like that is just super cool. The atmosphere, the fans. Um, I being in the stadium, I'm like, this is really my job. Like this is crazy. Um, because I technical direct most of the time, I don't always get that opportunity anymore. I did that a lot when I was
Mm, right,
in
right.
camera or utility work, which is just helping out the camera people. Um, but hmm, I've grown to love basketball, being um, not just watching basketball, but being behind the scenes. I've learned so much about basketball. Um, it's just different. It's a different type of crowd. So I would say, yeah, between those two, it's probably football and basketball. But yeah, just the atmosphere it provides. Even like as a fan going to the Blazers games, like people get so hyped,
They do,
and
they do.
it's just so awesome to see like how excited people get about it. So
That's one of my bucket list things to definitely come out there and go to a Blazer game. So I'm looking to try to see do that at least this upcoming fall for sure.
so much
Uh,
fun.
what is some recommendations that you can give me as far as if I touch down in Eugene or Portland? What are some recommendations that I should do if I touch down there? Because I've never been to Oregon. I would love to go.
Oh my, it's funny. I have been born and raised in Oregon, been here my whole life, never lived anywhere else outside of this state.
Wow.
Um, I went as as an Oregonian, I should know more about where to go and what to do, but I just like, I'm always working. And that's, oh my God, it's like it's a good thing, but I don't get out that much. I'm like, I love going on hikes and like being in nature doing stuff like that. But as far as like going to places, I don't get to do that often. I will say if you go to Portland, you have to go to Hopscotch. Um, it's this interactive art museum, I guess you could call it.
Okay, I'm
Um,
with that. I'm with that.
I'm not, museums sound kind of boring at the surface, and you're like, "Ugh, I work in sports, museums, come on." But
Right.
hopscotch is interactive, and it's so cool. You have to look it up. I went there just last year, and it was amazing. I'm like, this is technically art. They have uh, a ball pit for adults, and it's glow in the dark, and it's so much fun. There's just so many cool things. I won't spoil it, but you got to go to Hopscotch in Portland. That's one for sure.
Okay, hopscotch in Portland. Is there anything that you would like to add about what you do, or anything that you would like to say that we haven't talked about before we conclude?
Um, mm, I would just say that, I think a lot of people just think it's so amazing, not only what I do, but what you do. Like we get to work in sports, we're
Sure.
freelancers. On the surface, for people who don't do those things, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. I do. I get to meet really cool people, famous, famous sports announcers, and I get to work with ESPN, and all of that sounds really awesome. And it is. It really, really is. It's surreal to me. Um, I love what I do, but at the same time, everybody that I work with, whether famous or not, myself, we're all just normal. It's just
Right.
like regular work. Nobody feels like we're doing amazing things and saving lives, and it's cool. But I think a lot of people outside the sphere of that like hype it up so much, and in a different way. Maybe it's just envy. I don't know. But it makes me feel like an imposter. Like I'm not that cool. It's just my job. Like, you know. But it is. I feel very fortunate to be doing the things that I'm doing. Um, I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to go to college and to learn about broadcast. And I have to also remind myself that not everybody has that opportunity. But that being said, as I said earlier, God helps those who help themselves. I worked really hard to get a scholarship to do what I wanted to do,
Sure.
and now I get to do that, and that's awesome. But I just feel normal. I don't feel like I'm doing anything amazing or life changing.
That's the beauty about doing this podcast, that reason why I wanted to start it, talking to wonderful, talented, beautiful people like yourself, males and females all throughout the industry that work through sports and do different communicative roles. Um, it's not just about what you do and just who you are, but it's also a behind the scenes look of how you deal with things, right? Sometimes things look a certain way from afar, and people don't understand what the actual behind the scenes is. Uh, yes, you are an amazing, talented, hardworking person that deserves your flowers for working as hard as you do at your events that you do. But it's nothing that, we're not doing brain surgery here. I mean, it's not
No,
like
it's we're not saving lives. We're
no, no,
we're
no.
doing just regular work. I
That's
mean,
it. That's it.
yeah.
So
I will say I am so very glad that there are more women working in this field,
they do.
because it's hard to navigate in a male dominated field. It really is. And I think sometimes you come across those people who are like, girls working in sports, they don't know anything. So my coworkers and I, we joke around, go sports, like, like as if we're this, girl that knows nothing about sports and whatnot. But girls know sports, and there's so many that work in sports, and I love that we're continuing to create an atmosphere to include women in sports, and to um, help them as well. I think I mean, it really depends on your environment. Like I said, my bosses have been amazing in being so helpful to me, providing me opportunities to be able to grow and learn. Um, because there has been atmospheres where I've worked in where people look at you like, what are you doing here? As if you don't have a place. And um, it's a really hard feeling. Like it's a really negative feeling to feel when you feel
Sure.
like you belong, when you know what you're doing, and these people treat you like you have no idea what you're doing. Thankfully, I very rarely come across that. Most of the time, I do work with men, but I'm seeing more and more women. And being a part of LinkedIn is obviously a really great place to network with other people, to find people that do what you do. I have
Yep.
found so many women who work in sports who are technical directors. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know. I think I've come across one female technical director while I've been doing this. And I've been doing it for, I mean, not super long, 5, 6 years. Um, but I never see women technical direct, especially at a really high level like Fox Sports or ESPN. It's always males. Um, so the fact that LinkedIn has provided that opportunity to be able to look for people like
Hmm.
me is amazing. And I love that. So I love that this industry is continuing to foster an atmosphere of inclusivity um, for men and women and people of all um, colors. It's amazing to me. So very grateful for that.
Absolutely. Diversity and inclusion is much needed in our sports realm, especially in the hierarchy positions, especially in positions like yours. We definitely need more women. Another reason why I created this platform to talk, because I mainly do talk to ladies, but I do talk to men as well. But I like to talk to more women because we are the minority as far as women and minority men, as far as being in sport. So I like to be able to have their voices be heard and hear their whys and hear what they want to do. So
I love
I
that.
thank you. I appreciate you for being on my podcast and sharing your story, telling your why. Keep doing a hell of a job over there in Oregon. Like I said, whenever I touch down over there, which I am definitely putting that on the bucket, I got to go there. I need a good breakfast spot, so I'll have to hit you up for sure. But
I'll do my research. I'll find you a good breakfast spot.
I appreciate that, Ruby. I do. I want you to take care and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. You as well.
Mhm.